In this video, I'm going to tell you what really happened today at the March in London, the Freedom of Speech Festival. There was a time in the US when they had a Million Man March, and that's exactly what there was today. Some estimates say as high as 3 million, but I would say there's definitely at least 1 million. And such is to the corruption that is in the legacy media in the UK. They've reported that there are only tens of thousands of people, and it couldn't be further from the truth. So nice, because the rhetoric from the left just doesn't make sense. It's so not rooted in reality, and I saw that today with my own eyes, and I saw that today, and so did a lot of other people. The people in the march were families. They were not far right extremists or far right thugs, and they weren't mostly white. It was a very multicultural march, a march for freedom, and a march for a brighter future for this country. So on the whole, very wholesome. People from all over the country coming to represent. Had wonderful conversations with people in the street, and it was mostly very peaceful. Unfortunately, there was one area where Whitehall was, that there was a bit of problem between the front line of where people were and the police, and I think that was caused because they did not expect to have so many people. The Met's estimations that they were given was 100,000 people, and it was clearly well in excess of that. So they cut us off the bridge at Westminster that we couldn't walk over, so we had to go over another bridge, and then they cut us off from getting to the actual stage. In the end, we managed to make our way there. Unfortunately, a lot of people basically just went home at that point because they'd been there for hours already. So because they couldn't get through easily, the actual numbers were a bit underrepresented in the videos than what they actually were, because people couldn't cross Westminster Bridge, which leads straight into Whitehall. Fortunately, though, I did manage to get to Parliament Square in the end, and it was really good to see what was going on. But unfortunately, because they probably, maybe even Tommy didn't even expect so many people to come. They hadn't really planned for that, and so you couldn't quite hear what was going on. So in the end, I thought I'd rather go home. I've barely slept the last 3 days, mourning for Charlie, and also keeping up to date with everything that's going on. And I can see already that his death wouldn't have been in vain. People were chanting today, Charlie, 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 Charlie Cook. So that was crazy just to see someone that I guess I idolize, and now he's managed to infiltrate his way in to British culture, being chanted in such a British way like that. That was quite touching, and so were all the conversations with all the families and wonderful people that came out from all over the country today. There were no thugs there, as the media claims. So not only are they downplaying the amount of people that turned out today, to represent this freedom movement, they also are completely distorting the rhetoric of the kinds of people, the demographics of people that were there. Overall, a wonderful day and a start to a brighter future. I just wish that it hadn't been in. I just wish that Charlie was still here, of course. And that didn't have to happen to get to this point. But how much longer are we willing to let this go on for before people realise that the radical left are violent and they're being encouraged by the moderate left because they're not saying, no, this isn't wrong? I mean, you can just see that in the media. Where was the mourning? Where is the mourning for political violence? No one, we didn't have this when Charlie Hebdo was attacked, over a decade ago. People mourned. That was a terrorist attack, and this is no different. It's a very difficult time we face, but we're starting to move forward, and it looks like it's going on all over Europe. People have had enough. They don't want to share their space with people that aren't working and don't share their values. And I agree, and I've seen it with my own eyes. And the people that haven't are going to wake up very soon because they're going to see it with their own eyes too.